Seahawks fans, we've been telling you all month long about this Battle of the Sams sub-battle that we got going on between Vikings Now and Seahawks Today. You may recall Patrick Seatman, the host of Vikings Now, he said, hey, Sam Darnold is still our guy. You guys don't appreciate him like we do. We got Sam Howell now, and we want to show why we love both quarterbacks more than you guys. And I said, absolutely not. Now, we don't really care about Sam Howell anymore, but we do love Sam Darnold, and we need to defend Sam's honor. So help me out, and let's win this sub-battle. We only have a few more days left in the month of May. It's my birthday month, too. The best birthday present you can give me is subscribing to Seattle Seahawks Today for free. Let's win this sub-battle for daily Seahawks coverage, our news and rumors, in addition to our live shows 3 times a week during the offseason. We're also bringing you breaking news, Q&A, mailbags, and more, and it doesn't cost you a thing. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV to subscribe now, and we'll get started with today's show. Tyler Jones here with you, your fearless leader. Thanks for stopping by here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We have some great news to get to from the National Football League. This guy, Roger Goodell, is delivering a bill of goods to the Seahawks when it comes to how their schedule lines up in 2025. Sleepless in Seattle, a fantastic film, if I might say so myself, does not apply to this Seahawks team. Not so fast, my friends. To quote the great Lee Corso, who is about to retire. I love Lee Corso. He'll be missed on College game day. Did you know, folks, when you survey Seattle's schedule compared to the other 31 teams in the National Football League, they have a +8 net rest differential compared to their opponents this season. Now, what does that mean? That means that they have about an 8-day rest advantage on the teams that they are going to face. So they don't have to worry about any sleepless nights and those long phone calls with Meg Ryan at night. It's not happening. They're going to be in good shape. Now, comparably speaking, let's go back to 2024, a season ago when Seattle went 10-7 and just barely missed the playoffs. They had a negative rest differential of -13, which was towards the bottom of the National Football League. So some simple math here. Granted, I am not a math guy by any stretch of the imagination, but year over year, that's about a 21-day difference. That's 3 weeks, folks. And to think that team won 10 games, and now you're giving this team 21 plus days compared to last year's team, that's pretty good. And to put that in perspective compared to the rest of the 31 teams in the NFL, that's 5th best in the National Football League. Now, there is one caveat to that. There are some NFC West teams, including the Rams, that have a few more extra days than the Seahawks do, but it's still in good company to be in nonetheless. So why does this rest advantage matter? Well, first and foremost, it's an advantage on the other teams that you are facing with that time off that you are getting. That's number one. Number two, it makes a difference when it comes to health. Your body is not being worked as much on short notice. There's more recovery time from injuries. All of that's a good thing. Mental health is a big topic of discussion in 2025, and you want a mental reset. You want a chance to kind of escape your thoughts from the rest of the world? Well, that's a good way to do so. Game preparation. Mike Macdonald. I'm giving him more time to prepare for his upcoming opponents and come up with the best game plans possible. That's a good thing. And then we know that Seattle's got some long travel, third most of any team in the NFL this year. They'll have more time to recover from those long road trips. And the late season impact as well, putting yourself in position to win those big games late in the year and be in the best position possible when it comes to getting ready for the postseason as well. More to come here on Seahawks Today in just a moment. But first, what will be the Seahawks record in 2025? Predict it for me in the comments section. It is our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ads play and get your votes in and let us know what you think that is. Now, here's another perspective for you, folks. The belief among most is that the playoff race in the National Football Conference is going to be very tight. I think the division looks pretty close as is between the Seahawks and the Rams, but you're going to have several teams fighting for those wild card spots as well, which Seattle could potentially find themselves in. Those extra days off, this could be the difference in who makes the postseason and who misses the postseason. And you'll take every single advantage you can possibly get if you're the Seattle Seahawks in this case. John Boyle of Seahawks.com laid it out beautifully. He said this: for those not familiar with that number, it's a measure of how much more or less a rest a team has relative to its opponent heading to each game. For example, when the Seahawks play the Jaguars in Week 6, they'll be coming off a Sunday game. Well, the Jaguars will have played on Monday, making that a +1 for Seattle in rest differential. The Seahawks' biggest gap comes as the result of their Sunday night game against the Washington Commanders, which comes after Seattle's bye week, while Washington has a short week coming off of a Monday night game. Seattle's only game against an opponent coming off a bye is the Monday night game against Houston in Week 7. So that's a good way to kind of describe it all for you. Every single advantage counts if you're Seattle and trying to take advantage of each opportunity and situation that's in front of them. You have a bye week, Week 8, and on top of having that differential that we've talked about here, the Week 8 bye is in a good spot. And we've seen previously where Seattle wasn't so fortunate to get kind of a midseason bye week. A couple of years ago, they had a bye week, Week 5, and that was not ideal. This comes, not only do you get the rest advantage, but you get that midseason bye week to kind of reset and collect things before you get ready for that game against Washington there. I think that's all really good for Seattle and should help them out, in their case, to win this division. Speaking of which, will the Seahawks win the NFC West? You got two options here. You can either type Y for yes, N for no. Way in the comments section, tell us if you think they will win the division this year or not. Got a great deal for Seahawks fans. Rookie jerseys are on sale now. Chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. Got the Gray Zabel jersey with his proper number on it. Also got the Jalen Milroe jersey with his number on it, as well as among the other rookies that are out there. And maybe you're not feeling a rookie jersey. Maybe you want a veteran like a Sam Darnold, or maybe it is a Cooper Kupp, Devin Witherspoon. We also have their jerseys available at that same link. Chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies is where you can get yours today. All sorts of different shapes and sizes, men's and women's options available for you as well. Go see for yourself now at chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, when I look at the schedule, there will be peaks, there will be valleys. I think that there is a pretty decent chance that we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks in 2025 going on some win streaks and going on some losing streaks, just as we saw in 2024. You get things started with that Week 1 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, and the Seahawks are already underdogs. Just 2.5, though, but they are underdogs nonetheless for their opening game against San Francisco, despite Seattle winning the last time these two teams played there in Santa Clara, and the Niners coming off a very disappointing 2024 season. Then you go on the road, go all the way cross-country to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. We don't know who's going to be a quarterback for Pittsburgh. We think it could be Aaron Rodgers, might be Will Howard or Mason Rudolph potentially. But with that said, DK Metcalf is going to come in very hungry and motivated for that game Week 2 against Pittsburgh. Then you come back home, you take on the New Orleans Saints. I don't think the Saints are a very good football team at all. I think they're going to be one of the worst squads in the league. You should have no problems there. The Cardinals, the Seahawks have owned as of late, but it is a short week. You're playing on Thursday Night Football, and it is a divisional game, and you face Kyler Murray, which you just never know. It's not a guarantee. Then you take on the Buccaneers. And I'm pretty high on the Buccaneers this season. I think that Baker Mayfield has proven that he's one of the better quarterbacks in football. They have a really good receiving core with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and now they bring in Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State. That will be a challenge. You play the Jags. I think you should be fine against Jacksonville, but you are going on the road, another cross-country trip. And then you come back and play the Texans on Monday Night Football. And the Texans are a really good football team themselves. They're well coached by D'Amico. They got a good quarterback in C.J. Stroud. That'll be a tough contest. You get the bye week 8, which we mentioned earlier, comes in a good spot. And then right after the bye week, you're tested immediately, taking on the Washington Commanders, who went to the NFC Championship. They have one of the best young quarterbacks in football in Jaden Daniels. That will be a tough go for Seattle there. Then another divisional game against the Arizona Cardinals, Week 10. You face the Rams on the road for the first time this year. Cooper Kupp making his return to Los Angeles against his former team. Back-to-back road games. The only time that we see back-to-back road games this year, you play the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. I don't think the Titans are very good, but Tyler Lockett on that side. He's going to come in pretty motivated, kind of like what we talked about with DK Metcalf earlier. Then Week 13. A lot of grudge matches of sorts in the Seahawks schedule this year. You take out the Minnesota Vikings, who we see Sam Darnold facing his former team, going up against J.J. McCarthy there. That should be a good game. And then you round out the season. Week 14, you play at Atlanta. Seattle did beat Atlanta last year, but I think Michael Penix is going to be a massive improvement from what we saw from Cousins last year. Week 15, you face the Colts. I don't think the Colts are a very good football team at all. Then you play the Rams, and that's going to be a crucial point in the season as you're talking playoff implications. Short week on Thursday Night Football. You're at home there. You play at Carolina. I don't think the Panthers are very good. They could be in tank mode by then. And then you end the season with the San Francisco 49ers on either a Saturday or Sunday, and who knows where the Niners will be at that point of the year. All this to say, buckle up. Nothing is easy, but we will gladly take this rest advantage that Seattle has on their opponents entering 2025. What game are you most looking forward to on the Seahawks schedule in 2025? Wait in the comment section and tell us what you think. Appreciate you joining us here on Seattle Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.